So in late September of 2016, Peloton released Generation 2 of their monitor or tablet screen. It has hardware enhancements as well as software enhancements. So folks that ordered their bike on or after third week of September all received bikes with this new Generation 2 of the monitor or tablet. I've heard questions about, well, what are the differences between the two? So I thought I'd do a quick video to highlight what they are. So the first difference I was able to identify is the processor. The Gen 2 tablets now have a 2 gigahertz processor. Gigahertz representing the interval speed at which the CPU processes a set of commands. There are other elements that go into speed, but theoretically it should be faster. The second difference with those CPUs is the Generation 1 tablet is dual core, while the Generation 2 tablet is quad core. So the greater number of cores you have, the greater level of parallel processing you can have. The next item is Android version. So as you can see, the new tablets are running Android version 5.1. The Gen 1 tablets were running Android version 4.1.1, which also would explain why the newer tablets support Miracast casting. All versions of the Android operating system from 4.2 forward have Miracast casting built into the operating system. That just came as a default feature of the Android operating system. It wasn't anything that Peloton built into the new tablet. But it explains again why the original Gen 1 tablets did not have it. The next difference is memory. The Gen 2 tablets have 2 gig of RAM installed. The Gen 1 tablets had 1 gig. You notice on this Gen 2 tablet there's 1.2 gig of RAM free, which means given the same running system and applications on a Gen 1 tablet, there would be much less available RAM, which may explain why the new Android OS wasn't pushed to the Gen 1 tablets. Another difference is wireless standard support. The Gen 1 tablets supported 802.11b, G, and N, whereas the Gen 2 tablets also support 802.11a and AC. The differences here are the A and AC standards are specific to the 5 gigahertz frequency, whereas most of those others are specific to the 2.4 gigahertz frequency. The issue there is the 2.4 gigahertz frequency is also shared by microwaves and baby monitors and cordless phones, so there's going to be more of a chance for interruptions on that frequency. Also, the AC standard uses a technique called beamforming, which ultimately will just allow your connection to be more stable. For these things to be employed, though, your router would also have to support these standards, and your wireless network would have to be set up to those standards. So you'll have to check your router to make sure that you can take advantage of this in the new tablet. The next difference are the speakers on the back of the tablet. The Gen 1 tablet had 2 3-watt speakers, whereas the Gen 2 tablet has 2 10-watt speakers. Now, wattage only speaks to power, but it does speak to the opportunity for there to be a higher decibel output level for those new speakers. So it's likely that the 2 speakers in the Gen 2 monitor are louder. The last difference is the front-facing camera on the Gen 1 tablet. It came with a 1.3 megapixel camera. The Gen 2 tablet has a 5 megapixel camera, both displaying at a 16:9 aspect ratio. Now the difference will be if you're in a video chat on a ride with a friend, you would see the friend like this on the old tablet. Now you'll notice you don't see much area around the individual. On the new tablet, you would see that individual like this, much more area around them. You'd see much more, and there'll be a little more clarity because it's a 5 megapixel camera. Now, Peloton states that the Gen 1 tablet and the Gen 2 tablet are all going to support the same features ultimately. We know that the Gen 2 tablet supports Miracast, which the Gen 1 doesn't, but Peloton also states that they don't support that feature. It just kind of came with Android's operating system. So ultimately, you should be good if you have the Gen 1 tablet. I'm thinking, though, that the hardware update and the software update is in preparation for newer features and newer capabilities going forward. So my assumption is we will start seeing disparities between the capabilities of these 2 tablets going forward.